If you work retail like me, you know that there are some entitled customers that come your way almost every single day. Now, it's not going to be every single day. Some days people are tame, but others, evil lurks in the air. This one particular day, it was maybe last week sometime, I don't remember exactly which day it was. There was 3 separate occasions when people were just crazy entitled. And I'm going to go through each story very briefly. This video is not going to be too long, but it's going to be long enough for me to explain what I go through on a daily basis whenever I encounter these entitled customers. Now, a lot of these customers come in and just want they basically act like every single employee is under them, and they just act like they're the boss of the entire store, when that's simply not the case. I've had some angry customers say very stupid, out of line things, but this one day I remember because it happened 3 times in the same day. Number 1, we need a knife. So sometime in the morning time, I was talking to a customer about something. I don't really remember what it was, but we were having a decent conversation about guns or something like that, since I work behind the gun counter. There's just this maybe 50 to 60-year-old man with some kids and a wife, and he walks up, interrupts our conversation, and says, "Yeah, I need a knife off of this knife rack." And this happens a lot where people ask me to unlock a knife for them, but little do they know, FYI, that I cannot leave from behind the gun counter. So I'm always telling them the exact same thing every single time they ask. I say, "I'll have to radio somebody." That's what I told this gentleman. I said, "Okay, yeah, I can get you. I'll have to radio somebody." And right as I said that, the guy that I was talking to continued talking, so I was finishing my conversation, and just as I was about to radio somebody, the guy that asked for the knife goes, "Actually, I think we're good." And then he walks away. And this was like one of those encounters where he was just so entitled that he was like being overcome by pride. He would rather hold on to his pride than get the knife that he wanted. And that's how a lot of customers' mentality is. They're like, okay, if they're not going to help me right now, then I'm going to get back at them by not buying the thing that I was about to buy. And really all you're doing is hurting yourself, because I don't care if you buy something. Because Academy Sports' sales per day is probably like 30 to 40,000. And one person getting mad at me and not buying something because they're too impatient to wait for something, like they're acting like a child. Number 2, help my son. Now, this was one of those times when I was helping a customer to the best of my ability and he still got mad at me. Okay, now let me explain. It was probably a 35-year-old skinny white guy with his little 9-year-old son. Goes to the waders section. Now, if you don't know what waders are, it's basically like boots that come all the way up to your chest so that you can walk in water or you can go mudding or whatever. A lot of people use them for duck hunting. And in this particular scenario, the dad was wanting to get his sons a pair of waders so that he could go duck hunting. But he didn't know what the heck he was doing, and little did he know, the guy that he was asking the questions to knew all about duck hunting. And I'm really the only person in the store that knows anything about waders. So this is what makes the story even funnier. So the dad walks in and starts asking me questions about waders. What waders should I get for him? We're wanting to go duck hunting, blah, 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 blah. I told him exactly what he needed to know about duck hunting. I said, you're going to need some waders that probably go up to his chest. I would recommend about 2 sizes bigger than his shoe size because the waders run big. And get the ones with boots on them so that he doesn't sink into the mud. And I told him this about 2 or 3 times. I can't remember exactly. I think it was 2 times that I told him this. And he continues to not listen to me. And his son kept on trying the waders on that I did not tell him to try on. And he's like acting like I'm the problem, like I'm telling you exactly what to do. And I think he was also getting mad at me that I wasn't leaving behind the gun counter. He was getting mad at me that I was not leaving behind the gun counter to show him exactly what he needed for his son that I don't care about. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't care about your son. I only care about my own children. That's just the way life is. People don't care about your kids. You only care about your kids. After about 2 or 3 failed attempts, he walks up to me and goes, "Yeah, is there anybody on the floor that can show my son what waders he needs for duck hunting, that knows what they're talking about?" And I really sit there bedazzled. I really sit there bewildered as to what I'm hearing with my ears right now. And I was like, yeah, I just told you. You're going to need one with the boots that come up to his chest. Like, I don't know what else you want me to tell you. And after this, thank goodness, some people came to buy a gun so I did not have to deal with that man ever again. Now, that one really made me wonder why people are like that. It's just ridiculous. And number 3, are you okay? This was later in the day. I was in the middle of a gun sale. And whenever I'm in the middle of a gun sale, I don't like to be bothered. I don't like to be asked questions because I'm doing something and I have to do it. It's my job to do gun sales. It's also my job to answer stupid questions, but I can do that whenever I'm not doing a gun sale. I'm trained to sell guns, so whenever I'm in the middle of a gun sale, I want to put all my priority on the person who's purchasing the firearm. And when people come up and ask me stupid questions, it is very annoying. But I was in a good mood this day. So I was starting up some of the paperwork on a gun sale, and a lady comes up to me with her daughter. She's probably 60 years old, and I think her daughter's maybe 20 or something like that. She goes, "Excuse me, sir." And I look up from the paperwork I'm doing. I stop all that I'm doing, and I look up at her and go, "Yes, ma'am." And I guess that just wasn't good enough for her because she goes, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "What do you mean, am I okay?" Like, I was so confused. Like, why are you asking if I'm okay? And she's like, "I said excuse me." Like she was saying I didn't respond to her. And then her daughter butted in the conversation and goes, like, he answered you. Like, he said, "Yes, ma'am." And then the lady goes, "That was very rude." And I was like, "Ma'am, I'm in the middle of a gun sale. I'm not being rude at all." And I said it like that. And she goes, "Do you have any more of these?" And she held up like the most common Blazer 9mm practice ammo that Academy Sports carries. And I go, "Yeah, it's over there at the end." And I point to the end of the aisle. And she walks away and I never see her again. I'm like, why do people act like that? She thought I didn't answer her. She called me rude. And all I'm doing is doing my job. It bewilders me as to the entitlement of some people. I did nothing to her, and she called me rude, asked me if I was okay, and was just an overall, like, scumbag to me. I don't know why people act like that. So anyway, if you're thinking about working retail, take this into consideration. There are some very rude customers for absolutely no reason, but the upside is that you get to be in a heated and cooled environment, and it's really not that hard of work. So anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one.